the Friday deadline set by Lamar Jackson and Lamar Jackson's agent, otherwise known as him, on the trade. On the contractual front, he set a deadline here, and he stuck to it, man. Because whatever the Ravens offered, and we will find out.
You think so?
Oh, please! We will find out what Lamar Jackson turned down.
I'm really curious.
And he's going to play under the franchise tag. John Harbaugh getting set for a trip to the Jets to try and beat back the revenge factor placed on the table by Joe Flacco, who, by the way, will not have Dwayne Brown protecting him on the left side. He's apparently so hurt he might go on injured reserve. The guy who's who they signed to replace Mekhi Becton might not even play all year. Isn't that great? I won't go down that wormhole. This is about Rich. This is about the Ravens.
Oh, my God.
John Harbaugh had this to say about the impasse that still exists on the contractual front between the franchise and their franchise quarterback.
I mean, I think all the feelings that you would expect that anybody would have, you probably have. I wasn't, probably not for me as much because I wasn't directly involved with any back and forth. But, you're hopeful. But there's still, those things will work themselves out in the end. I'm confident that. I think I said at the beginning that'll happen when it's time, and when it's time, it'll happen. So Lamar's playing quarterback. He's going to be playing quarterback here for a long time. He and I talked about it yesterday a little bit, like, hey, man, let's go be our best and go focus on football. And that's what he's been doing all along. So I know nothing will change with that, and just focused on Sunday.
It is what it is. Good kudos to Harbaugh for not dropping that coaching cliche, because this is what it is. And what it is a contractual impasse. I guess the most unique contractual impasse, because it involves a generationally talented player who has already won an MVP award within his first contract, who has captured the fancy and complete adoration of the fan base in Baltimore, and has asked for something that the Ravens clearly are uncomfortable giving, and he is uncomfortable saying yes to what the Ravens have said they're comfortable to give him, which is not the way you normally want to go into a season with a guy that has your entire season hopes on his shoulder and in his heart and in his mind. But if there's anybody who can truly place this aside and just be the man, it's Lamar, certainly since he's now bet on himself. And, the Ravens have an opportunity to franchise tag him again, either exclusively or not. The non-exclusive is less money than the exclusive, and allows them to recoup 2 first-round draft choices if another team matches and they say, we can let you go. Obviously, they can sign a long-term contract as well. And that's the future of it. But we're going to find out, Chris. Oh, we'll find out. Because this is going to be a conversation about why it happened at some point.
Well, Lamar didn't like the guaranteed money.
And then why didn't he like the guaranteed money if it was a significant amount of money?
Had to have been at least what Russell Wilson got,
If it gets to the point where it's placed pressure on the front office of the Ravens that they didn't get it done, we'll find out. Somebody will say something to somebody who says something to somebody, and it may not be something that Steve Bisciotti or even Eric DeCosta has greenlit, but somebody will say something. And if it comes down to it that Lamar should have taken the money and he didn't, and maybe he'll let it loose to point out the Ravens didn't give him enough. Look at what they offered him. It wasn't even as much as this or that, the other thing. Oh, it'll come out. It'll come out. Maybe even before kickoff if things get a little hot.
Gosh, that would be awesome. I'm dying to know what it was.
Do you don't think somebody's digging on it or knows already, and one of the information men or women just going to sit on it and pop it out there on Sunday, because that's what they do. Because that's the biggest platform is Sunday
I'll tell you
football pregame.
I think you're right.
We'll find out.
Like 10 a.m. Eastern.
Oh, this is not the end of it. The end of it could be is if Lamar just absolutely kills it.
I think
and it's not even an issue. I know you've chosen them to win the division.
I do think so.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and many believe that as well. I still think it's the Bengals division. And so, if he crushes it, the only time it'll come up is when he re-signs, just like, how much did he turn down? How much did he make more by sticking to his figurative guns? But if he gets hurt And it'll be like, how much money do you turn down?
Like if he turned down 180 guaranteed, like that's kind of a head scratcher.
I'm just fascinated. Like, and was the Deshaun Watson contract being fully guaranteed the thing that truly did gum this up in a way that it didn't in Arizona for Kyler Murray or Denver for Russell Wilson? Because as you know, they're riding.